What is today's date?
Today's date is February the 2nd, 2018.
The year of our Lord. So, this is the Other Morning Show. I'm True Powers Mind.
I'm Dimebag Darley.
And I'm Debbie from behind the scenes.
And today's special guest is Jane Elliott.
Yes.
She is an educator, she is an author, and she is an activist. And not only that, she is a true woman who is a credit to all humanity. Thank you, Jane, for joining the show.
I'm glad to do the show, but you need to know that you will lose your listeners in about 5 minutes.
Why?
Because I'm going to say things that people don't want to hear, particularly white people.
Well, that's fine, because you're on the True Powers Mind hotline, and a lot of times what's on the True Powers hotline is ill-received, but it is the truth.
Well, I'll speak the truth, but it won't be pretty. Because what we're doing isn't
That's-
pretty. What we've been doing to people of color in this country for 400 years isn't pretty, and it has to be stopped.
Well, yes, that's what this show's about, Jane. So let's just go right into it. What has the effect of what we all have been exposed to as far as the brainwashing through the education system really manifested in reality?
Well, we deny reality. We white folks build reality to suit our needs. When we move into a new environment, we immediately adjust the environment to fit our needs. When people of other color groups come into a new environment, they immediately adjust their needs to fit the environment. We who are members of the white color group have been conditioned to the myth of white superiority. It's a lie. And to the myth of 3 or 4 different races. That's a lie. There's only one race on the face of the earth, and that's the human race. We are all descendants of those first black females who arrived in sub-Saharan Africa about 500,000 years ago. Now, that's a fact, and you can argue with it until hell freezes over. It will still be a fact.
Yes.
The only reason we believe that there are 3 or 4 different races is because after the Spanish Inquisition, a group of people decided that we couldn't always tell what your religion was by looking at you, so they may have killed a whole lot of people who didn't deserve to die because of their religion. So then they decided they have to look at another way to identify those who are going to be their victims. And they hit upon skin color. And a man, a real brilliant man, a botanist named Linnaeus, decided that since he could characterize plants by their physical differences, it would work with humans too. And that's when we started to do this. It doesn't work with humans because we're all members of the same race. And the only reason we have people with light-colored skin and dark-colored skin is because those dark-colored people who were here first managed to move across the whole globe and populate the world. And as they moved farther and farther from the equator, the melanin that their bodies produced was less and less because melanin is the chemical that protects your cells from the damaging rays of the sun. The less and less sun they were exposed to, the less and less melanin their bodies produced. That's the only reason for the difference in skin color. And then if you want to talk about Asian skin color, then you have to realize that their diet is different, and the amount of sunlight they get is different, and eating lots of vegetables and fish will do that for you. So this is, the whole thing is made up, it's a lie, and it has been really revamped to make it stronger for the last 400 or 500 years. It's time to give it up now. We know it's a lie. We have proof, archaeological proof that it's a lie. It's time to give it up.
Well, Miss Elliott, I have a question. When you first implemented your exercise on your 3rd grade class, were you expecting the results that you got, or were you expecting something different?
Oh, no, I wasn't expecting the results I got at all. All I was trying to do was encourage empathy in my students for people who are different from themselves. It never occurred to me, oh God help me, it never occurred to me that I would, by doing that exercise and telling brown-eyed people that they were smarter than blue-eyed people and treating them as though I believed it, it didn't occur to me that I would find out how I looked with people of color. Because the first day of that exercise, when brown-eyed people were on the top, and I'm blue-eyed and I was on the bottom, my brown-eyed 3rd graders treated me the way they had been taught to treat others that they considered inferior to themselves. I was teaching racism and didn't realize it. They were exhibiting learned behaviors which they learned from the significant adults in their environment. And they learned them from the books we were reading. And we learn them from the pictures on television. And if you don't have a racist in your family, sit your child down in front of the television for a couple of hours a day for the next month. At the end of that month, you'll have a convinced racist. Because that television will tell them that if you're white, you're all right. If you're brown, hang around. If you're black, you're back. Get back.
Yes. I mean, I think we all know about your experiences with Dr. Martin Luther King, but did you have any experiences with James Baldwin?
No, but I've seen his I Am Not Your Negro.
Yeah, and I just recently read his book.
I didn't have experiences with him. I didn't have experiences with Martin Luther King Jr. I didn't have experiences with Abe Lincoln. But I know that Abe Lincoln was a Melanesian, part black, part white, and part Cherokee Indian. I can learn from those people without having experiences with them.
Wow. That is so true. That is true.
Yeah, but you see, what we do when you ask that question, what you say is, there couldn't be it, and what my students said. And what people in the community said after they found out I was doing the exercise. Their first comment was, why is she doing that exercise here? We don't have racism in Riceburg. We don't have any niggers.
You're right.
I don't know I should say the enemy, but that's what they said.
No, use that word on this show. Use that word so we have freedom of speech.
See, as a white person, I don't have the right to use that word. Because the power of that word coming out of my mouth is entirely different from the power of that word and the emphasis of that word, the meaning of that word coming out of a young black male's mouth.
Right.
So I know I don't use that word regularly, but my students were absolutely astounded that they knew all this nonsense about blacks and they had never been in the company of one.
Wow.
I don't have to be in the company of Martin Luther King Jr. to read his material and see those films and realize that what he was after, what he represented for me was hope. And for me, hope, the word hope is an acronym for holding on to positive energy.
Yes.
And that's what Martin Luther King Jr. was doing. And we killed him for doing that.
Yes.
Now, I don't have to be in his presence to recognize his greatness. I never met Jesus Christ.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I learned a lot from him.
Yes.
Yeah. Do unto other as you would have them do unto you.
No, that is not, that's wrong too. Oh, aren't you glad you called me? No, you aren't. People, listen. That part of the Bible, that verse, came out of Chinese philosophy. Jesus studied in the East. In Chinese philosophy, it says, do unto others as others would have you do unto them. Treat others as they would have you treat them. Treat others the way they want to be treated. Don't treat others the way you want to be treated because they might not want to be treated the same way you do.
Wow.
Now, I suspect that you're a young man, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because everybody's younger than I am. If you get on an airplane and you have a piece of luggage that has to be put in the overhead rack, do you want me, a short, fat, little old white lady, to walk over and say, can I help you with that, Sonny?
No.
No,
No.
of course you don't. But when I get on an airplane with a piece of luggage that I have to put in the overhead rack because the lady next to me has taken up all the space under the seat, I have to say to a young man saying that, if you could put this up for me, I'd really appreciate it. You see, I can't treat others the way I want to be treated. I have to treat others the way they want to be treated. And in order to know how they want to be treated, I have to ask them, I have to listen to the answer, and then I have to do what they ask as long as it is indecent, immoral, or illegal.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes,
Yeah, it
ma'am.
does.
Crystal clear.
Yeah. See, I believe in the platinum rule. The platinum rule says, do unto others as others would have you do unto them.
Yes.
Mm.
And I think that is what Jesus Christ would have said if we, the Christian people, hadn't altered the statement.
Right.
It makes us powerful. It's like the way right now we are using the idea of tolerance. People with color decide who to tolerate. With power. People with power decide who to tolerate. People without power have to wait to be tolerated. I don't believe in that kind of tolerance. In this country, we use tolerance to mean put up with. In the dictionary it says tolerance means recognize, appreciate, and value another human being.
Yes.
That's not the way we use the word tolerance. Unfortunately, we have adjusted that to fit our needs, which is what we white folks do. It's the way we are. And it's the way we are because we moved into climates that were much too difficult to really support human life, and we had to struggle and strain in order as we got lighter and lighter skin. We had to struggle and strain to protect ourselves and to stay alive. We are more, for the most part, more aggressive and more abrasive than most of the other colored groups.
And is that because it was a state of survival versus a state of thriving?
Well, until 500 years ago, it was to survive. 500 years ago, we started using it to empower us to keep other people in their place and to allow us to take their land. And if you don't believe it, then you remember what Mr. Hoover in the White House said when he was running for the presidency. He said, I bombed the hell out of them. He said, I bombed the shit out of them and take the oil.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
That is the one, that sentence tells you exactly what white people have been about all over the world. Bomb out them and take their oil.
Bomb their shit and take their resources. It's
He
colonial.
said take their oil.
Oil, yes,
But
oil.
take the resources. And what we have done in this country, I have great sympathy for women who are harassed. All women who are harassed. But I see Native American women who are living on a 5 or 10 or 15 acre reservation when the people owned the whole state before we got here and took it away from them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. See, I don't see things the way most white people do, probably because I'm too old. And I see all what we're doing right now, I saw happen from 1933 until 1945. I watched, as I got old enough to realize what was going on. By the time I was 8 years old, I knew what was going on because my dad said so. But I watched a man split a country on the basis of religion. And I watched him with us against them. And that's exactly what we're doing in this country today. People don't even recognize what's going on. They think that this will go away. This isn't going to go away until the people who are in the House of Representatives get off their power-unsaturated fatty acids and do something about this.
Yes.
We're going to be stuck, and we could lose our democracy. And that is exactly what Bannon and Breitbart want. They want us to lose our democracy. I don't want to leave this land no longer a democracy.
But
It will be sent into an oligarchy if people don't get up and protest. And I'm not, but these women who protest for harassment, will they protest Trump as loudly? Instead of carrying signs about what men are doing to them, carry signs about what one man is being allowed to do to them. What does he have on the members of the House?
Yes.
Going along with this?
Yes.
What does he say to them on the golf course? What does he say to them when he invites them to the White House for lunch? And they come out saying, we're going to do it his way. How is he getting that done?
Yes. Because we all know there's a shadow government.
Well, it's a really scary situation because this man is a well-grown tall, and that's not what we need in the White House.
Right.
Miss Elliott, in the current,
somebody's going to call in and say, why is she talking about politics when we're here to talk about racism? Because racism and politics.
It is politics.
You can't separate them.
Yes.
Right. Miss Elliott, do you think the change that's actually needed and the change that needs to be implemented as a human species to preserve our species, do you think we can, at this current in this current political system, do you think that is attainable?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's more than possible. It has to happen. It will happen. Because people aren't stupid.
Right.
Right.
You can't fix stupid. They're ignorant. You can educate ignorant people and teach them that what they're doing is wrong for their futures, for the future of their children and their grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Absolutely we can change this. This is not inevitable. But this fool is going to run the United States of America into the ground. It's not inevitable.
Wow.
It's the result of, in fact, let's get back to talk about Billy?
Yes.
Because as long as we have this kind of thinking in the White House and in Congress, we're going to go on with this mess. What we do in November is elect a whole bunch of people who do not support this idiocy and who are willing to learn about racism. A whole bunch of people who are not going to say we're in a post-racial society, because we have proof in our last election that this is not a post-racial society.
Yeah.
And we have proof in our last election that it's all right to be a pedophile. It's all right to harass women sexually, because the person who's leading this country right now has done all those things or supported those things.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, people have to wake up and realize what's going on, and the first thing they have to do is turn off their television sets. And then they have to throw away they stop going on Facebook
Yes.
Yes.
and start thinking. And they better start reading some books that will tell you what's going on, what's gone on in the past, what's going on in the present, and how it will ill for our future. If people haven't read the book The Myth of Race by Robert Wald Sussman, they have done themselves a grave disservice. Instead of marching around in the streets, defending or protesting something that you don't understand, read that book, and then you'll understand what it is you're protesting and how absolutely necessary it is that we all protest racism. We have to do it today.
Yes.
And after you finish reading that one, then read the book on tyranny. And I can't remember the author's name, but it's about 124 pages of brilliance. Everybody should read the book on tyranny so that you'll understand exactly what is happening in this country today. After you read that one, those people who would say, and Stephen King, who is a representative in Congress from Iowa, of which I'm extremely embarrassed, says that no black people, no people of color, I think he said, have ever contributed anything worthwhile to humankind. He needs to read the book They Came Before Columbus by Ivan Van Sertima. And he needs to read the book Nile Valley Contributions to Civilization by Anthony Browder. And everybody needs to read the book 250 Years and Still a Slave by Janice Marie Collins. And then everybody who has children in school or ever expects to have has to read the book The Racial Conditioning of Our Children, the subtitle of which is Ending Psychological Genocide in Schools by Nathan Epstein. You don't have to remain ignorant. You're born ignorant, but you don't have to remain ignorant.
Exactly.
You can educate yourself out of this mess. Because once you realize what's really going on, you will get angry, and you will join the indivisible group. You will form indivisible groups, and you will challenge the Trump agenda. And
Yes.
it's best to do it immediately, like yesterday.
Yes.
But do you think we will be successful challenging the Trump agenda when there's really no other options out there?
Well, yes, I think we will. Because now, you see, if we can make enough white women angry, there are lots of them. White women were used during the civil rights movement to virtually kill the civil rights movement. They started the women's movement. And white men could put their emphasis on the women's movement and take it off the civil rights movement. So I know that can happen. I've seen it happen in my lifetime. So if white women get together now, and instead of whining about their own situation, say, all right, this is enough of this. We've abused our black and brown and yellow and the so-called red cousins long enough now. We are all members of the same race. Therefore, we are all 30th to 50th cousins of one another. You and I are cousins, so whether you like it or not, I'm one of your cousins. There's nothing to do about it. Because that was ordained before, 4,000 years before the birth of Jesus Christ, actually. It's 500,000 years before the white folks on earth. So you need to realize that when it happens to you, it happens to one of my relatives. When one of my white relatives abuses one of my relatives of a different color group, I get really angry because those are my cousins.
Yes.
I'm members of the family of man. We are all members of the family of man. And I will not have my cousins abused because of somebody else, some other cousin's ignorance about skin color.
Right.
Am I making sense here, or am I just on a rant?
No,
No.
you're making mad
No.
sense.
And see, Jane, this just kind of fits into the whole show's MO here. I mean,
Like, we like bringing information, and we feel you have some
Yes.
valuable information, and
this show's perfect.
that's what it's all about.
We want you to have a platform, Jane, where you complete your total thought. We are listening and soaking this up.
Now, I do have a question about your blue eyes, brown eyes exercise. Now, have you taught that method the way you do it? Because I know it could probably be imitated, but the way you do it, have you taught that to somebody else to keep that? Because I think it's about, I like the tactics and the aggressiveness that the exercise brings, and I think at this state and present that we're in, that is necessary. Have you taught that to somebody else to keep that going?
I've tried to teach it to 3 different groups, and in each group, the people who are attending say, I can't do that, man. I can't do that, mean. I can't do this. And they're usually white women. They're mostly white women. I say to them, wait a minute. You do this based on skin color 24/7. Don't tell me you can't do it based on eye color.
Right.
I don't do it. I'm not a racist. I don't see color. I say, well, I knew that before you said it, because if you saw color, you wouldn't wear that shirt with those pants. Now,
Right.
you want to change your mind about that statement? This business of how many of you, I don't know whether you what your color is, but have you ever seen or been exposed to somebody walking up to you and saying, when I see you, I don't see you black?
Right.
Yeah, well, but that person is lying, because if they didn't see you black, they wouldn't say black.
Right.
When I see you, I don't see you green, or I don't see you orange, or I don't see you multicolored. But they don't see that. They don't say that. They say, I don't see you black. Well, what is for you? I'll never forget the day I was standing beside Linda Hillary at a hotel in downtown Denver, Colorado. And this killer little female fiddled up to her on her high heels that were too tall, and she was having difficulty walking on, and said to Linda Hillary, tall, aggressive, aggressive Linda Hillary, when I see you black, when I see you, I don't see you black. And I stepped back because I thought, oh, you need a bed chair here, and I've got a little suit tomorrow. I can't afford to have that all over me. And Linda Hillary very gently looked down at her and said, I think you have an eye problem. Let's make an appointment with the optometrist so that we can take care of your eye problem. See, to me, that was perfect. I was ready to give her the Legion of Honor. That was absolutely perfect. She didn't attack her. She simply educated her. And that's what we have to do with white folks. You have to educate them. Now somebody's going to say, she doesn't like white folks. And somebody's going to, I'm going to get emails from somebody saying, you're a traitor to your race. You're not a traitor to my race. My race is the human race.
Yes.
Right.
Telling the truth about what white folks do is not being a traitor to my race. It's an attempt to educate white folks who, when they hear me say these things will sound so awful, but in the future, when they start to say them, they'll shut up.
Yes.
Yes.
How many of you have had a T-shirt at the elementary, junior, senior high school level say to the group, when I see people, I don't see people with black or brown or red or yellow, black or brown or red or yellow. I don't care if your skin is black, brown, red, yellow, or purple polka dots, and they're treated all alike. Have you had that?
I
Yeah.
heard it.
They never put the word white in there. They never say, I don't see, when I see people, I don't see people with black, brown, red, or yellow, or white. They didn't point out because it's all right to be white.
Right.
And it's all right to be white. But it's not all right to be any of these other shades of black, which is all white is.
Yes.
Another shade of black.
Yeah.
We all came from the same black female.
Yeah, it kind of seems like they do that as like a disclaimer or something.
No, because there's been a straight up attack on black females.
Yes.
This all comes, everything you see on the planet Earth comes from the black female. And let's let that be known.
Right.
And furthermore, my heroes are black women because they continue to be productive and to be ambitious and to be busy and to get educated and to have jobs and to raise, for the most part, beautiful, brilliant children.
Yes.
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 They are not seen as beautiful or brilliant because we see them through the eyes of people who are conditioned, who are taught to see black as a negative.
Yes. I am a product of such woman. Marcella Jean Weaver was my mother. She passed away 2 years ago. I am the product of her. And I am
And
so
you are a
thankful.
lucky man. Make no mistake about that. You're a product of a woman who developed coping skills that I didn't have to develop until I did the Blue Eyed Brown Eyed exercise. And I still don't have to develop the coping skills that she had to develop, because all I have to do is keep my mouth shut when I'm on the airplane or on the bus or walk down the street. If I'm with a wig, I'm in better shape. So that people don't recognize who I am or what I do.
Yeah.
But when they find out who I am and what I do, then I get to develop some coping skills, which black women have to develop. It isn't a choice with them.
Right.
They are forced to develop the coping skills that I'll never have to develop.
And a lot of that stems from black women had to be the vanguard of black males that were being basically genocide, straight up lynched, killed for whatever reason, because they were the ones who dredged through all this drudgery, all the breeding sex forms back during slavery times, all the transport through the Middle Passage, and all that. They kept us with a sense of self. And that's what it's all about.
If you think for a minute that that's over, you need to take another look.
No, it's not.
You need to take another look at our attempt to do away with Planned Parenthood.
Yes.
The reason we're trying to do away with Planned Parenthood is too many white women are getting abortions.
Yes.
If you haven't read the book, The Birth Dearth, Birthdearth, by Ben Rottenberg, it was written in 1987. And at that time, Ben Rottenberg wrote this book, and in the first paragraph it says, the main problem affecting the United States today is there aren't enough white babies being born in this country.
Yes.
So if we don't change this immediately, white people will become a numerical minority, and this will no longer be a white man's land. He says there are three things we can do to solve this problem. Number one, we could pay women to have babies, as they have been doing in Western European nations for years. Then he says, unfortunately, and these are his words, not mine, we would have to pay women of all colors to have babies, so we don't want to do that. He says the second thing we could do is increase the number of legal immigrants allowed into this country every year. Once again, he says, unfortunately, the vast majority of those who want to come to this country today are people of other colors. We don't want to do that. And he says other races. He says the third thing we could do is remember that 60% of the fetuses that are aborted every year are white. If we could keep that 60% alive, that would solve our birth dearth. Now, does that sound like racism to you? Because that's what it sounds like to me. I told that at college several months ago, and there were two little guys sitting there with those red caps on that say, make America hate again, which is what they mean no matter what it says.
Yes.
And one of them raised his hand and said, Miss Elliott, you've got your statistics wrong. I said, we'll go downstairs later and we'll talk about that and you can describe your statistics wrong. So after I finished doing the thing and all the selfies and all the stuff that goes on, then we went downstairs, and this darling little boy said to me, your statistics are wrong. And I said, what are your statistics, your latest statistics? He said, 39% of the fetuses that are aborted today are white, and 61% are fetuses of color. I said, you just made my point. You just made my point. He said, what do you mean? I said, in 1987, 60% of the aborted fetuses are white. Now, because Ben Rottenberg has been giving advice to President of the United States, 39% of the fetuses are white. Do you think we're making progress in whitening this country? He looked at me with the strangest expression. He said, I never thought of it that way. And his younger brother was sitting there and said, maybe we should have thought of that. I said, maybe we should have thought of that, fellas.
Yeah.
That was willful ignorance in play. He willfully ignored the fact of what he was doing. Or what he was...
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He's 20 years old, 19 or 20 years old, and he doesn't know who's still a good grade of play. He doesn't know anything but what he's been taught.
Yeah.
And the teachers are teaching him only what they've been taught.
Yes.
When I was in college, I was, like when Moses and I went to college together, our social studies instructor said, when you go into the classroom, and he was talking to a group of teacher trainees, when you go into the classroom, you must not teach in opposition to the local mores. The people who are paying your wages through their taxes have the right to have their children learn what they want them to learn. In other words, and I thought at the time, if you're in a racist society, you aren't supposed to teach against racism. I thought it was wrong then, and I think it's wrong now, and I think that same message is being sent all over the United States.
Yes.
And I want that stopped.
Yes.
We
That's
have
what
to
teachers
stop it.
said. That's what they learned. If that's what you lived with since you were in kindergarten, and you now have a PhD, and you're 60 years old, you're still teaching what you learned in kindergarten.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but that's what's going on.
Yes.
And we will not do away with racism in this country until we do do away with indoctrination, posing as education, and that's what's happening.
Now, can I ask you a question? Because you were probably alive when
Long
this.
answer.
Have you ever heard of a man called Father Divine?
Yeah, but it's been a long time ago.
Yeah, could you possibly retract those memories and bring them up? What do you know of Father Divine?
I don't. It's just that strikes me in a negative way immediately.
Okay. Because I never heard of him until recently, and I'm just trying to figure out who this man really was on the ground level.
Well, look it up, and you might find out that he's a Richard Spencer with a theological degree.
Oh, really?
See, we didn't know that.
I don't know.
Okay.
Don't say that I told you that he was.
No.
So you might find that out.
Okay.
I hope he was truly divine. But I'm looking at Richard Spencer.
Well, the other reason why.
And I'm concerned. And I think everybody should read Frank Schaeffer's books. If you want to read something from somebody with a theological background, read Frank Schaeffer's books. Do you know who Frank Schaeffer is?
No, I never heard of Frank Schaeffer.
Oh my God! All right.
I'm sorry.
We will when we get off the phone with you.
Franklin Schaeffer started the evangelical movement in the UK many years ago.
Okay.
His son learned it from the father. His son, Frank Schaeffer, learned it from his father, brought it to this country. He has written at least 5 books, and I think the first one was Patience with God. You need to read those books because Frank Schaeffer says that the evangelical movement in this country has been twisted so that it is totally can't be identified as evangelical anymore.
Wow.
He said, you need to read Patience with God. Everybody has to read it. Everybody has to read everything Frank Schaeffer ever wrote because he knows how it was started. He watched what happened in the UK with it, and he knows what can happen here unless we make people aware of how it's being used.
Wow.
It's being distorted to the point where it's almost unrecognizable. So if you want to read something written by a theologian, read that.
Frank Schaeffer, folks.
Yeah, we
Read
got it.
Schaeffer. See, this is what I'm talking about, Jane. You're bringing information that young people need to hear. The young people crave this, not the dogmatic stuff coming on CNN, Fox News. They need to go to the source.
Yes.
Thank you, Jane.
Yes.
If they go to Fox News, they need to have their heads examined.
Exactly.
And there won't be anything there.
Yes.
You can't honestly say that you are informed if you're watching Fox News. You're misinformed.
Exactly.
I really have some really fine friends who are evangelicals who shut up when they're around me. Because, wait a minute, folks, you need to read the truth before you start to spout this stuff. Before you are going to support this kind of thing, read the truth about the evangelical movement. And if you think it isn't real, read, what's the name of the man who wrote The Family and C Street. The last thing I think is Sharper, but anyway, his thing. The Family and C Street. Look it up. And he is, in those 2 books, describe what goes on in Washington, D.C. in order to see to it that the members of the House of Representatives and the Senate pass the right legislation to perpetuate or to bring forward, in fact, the evangelical movement in this country. You've got to read those 2 books. You won't understand what's going on until you do. After you read this with the voice, nobody will want to be anywhere near you because you open your mouth and out will come, what are you going to do about this situation and stop being so ignorant?
Yes.
So what do you think about Homeland Security taking over the infrastructure of the voting system in this country?
The what?
How
Voting system?
the Homeland Security, the Department of Homeland Security? How do you feel about them taking over the infrastructure of our voting system? How we vote?
Well, of course, that's wrong because this man, who is now our leader, quote unquote, can tell them what to do, and he will, and he is. Mm-hmm. You need to realize that having this kind of power, backed by this kind of money, backed by the Waltons, and I understand that each of the heirs is worth about $8 billion. Mm-hmm. kind of money can change a person's mind in a hurry who has a perfectly moral outlook on life. If you're around that kind of money and they tell you, well, maybe it would be to your advantage, and wave the green in front of you, the color that is most important in this country is green, the color of our money.
Yes.
I watched what happened to two of those people who were opposed to what Mr. Trump was suggesting on this tax bill. And after they had been in his presence privately for a few minutes, all of a sudden they were in favor of the tax bill. Now, I don't think that's because he has this wonderful, persuasive intelligence. That's not what's going on there.
Mm-hmm.
You know that, and I know that. And
Yes.
those two men are not running for office this year because they don't dare. And I think that you'll find that people like Paul Ryan will not be running because he has. That's a perfect case of indecent exposure. He has exposed himself this week and last week in a way that is totally indecent. And now once again you're thinking, let's talk about racism. When you put together a tax plan like the one they have, that gives people with a lot of money, most of whom are white, huge tax breaks, and makes somebody like me, they pay 15%, I pay 30%.
Yeah.
And I don't know rich enough money to have to pay 30% of taxes, but I do because I make more than I should.
Yeah.
So this is, the whole thing is upside down. We're upside down right now. That's the problem. We've got to right this country. We've got to set it up right.
Are there any racist implications to the formation of the Federal Reserve that happened back in 1913, I believe, on Jekyll Island?
I don't know. I don't remember, and I'm not going to comment on something that I don't remember.
Gotcha. That's totally within the realms of rationality.
Jane, I got as I see like the current political situation that we're in, like when I look at both major parties, I guess if that's what they call it, and just to be honest, I don't really see any change coming from either side of the party. Like, what do you think could be a suggestion? Because I think if we don't band together, they're gonna probably wipe us all out. And
Have you formed an indivisible group?
excuse me.
Have you formed an indivisible group? Get on the net, type in indivisible, and you will get 27 pages of things that you can do to challenge the Trump agenda. You
What?
can download that, form an indivisible group, and then go to work on it. Don't just complain, go to work.
No,
The University of Iowa, when I was there a couple of months ago, said they have formed several indivisible groups and they're making a difference. Individuals can make a difference, particularly if they unite with a whole mess of other individuals. People, one person determined to make a difference, is the only thing that has ever made a difference in this country.
Exactly.
Abraham Lincoln was only one person. Even if he was black, white, and Cherokee Indian, he was only one person. He made a difference in this country. This person in the White House now has made a tremendously negative difference in this country.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell me this person can't make a difference.
but as I look at it, I'm like, don't you think it would be the same agenda, even if it was a Democratic president, just done a different way, but with the same agenda? Because that's what I got from the previous administration.
What we got from the previous administration was less progress than we should have had, but we couldn't do what needed to be done because the boys from the Tea Party group and the Southern boys decided and said up front, he's not going to get elected. He got elected. Then they said, Mitch McConnell is one of them who was on television constantly saying he's never going to succeed. He succeeded in spite of them in many ways. He didn't do as much as he could because the white boys wouldn't allow it to happen. And once again, they say, you don't get reelected. He did. Did he get reelected because racism was over in the United States? Absolutely not. He got reelected because Barack Obama is the most fantastic community organizer I have ever seen in my life.
Mm.
And he is now organizing communities again.
Now, have
He
you ever
is going to make a very big difference in this next election. You will see.
met Barack Obama personally?
No, but I'd love to.
Now, when I
I'm afraid that I'd have to judge it right because, of course, Jesus Christ was the color for Barack Obama. He didn't look like a little Pillsbury boy.
No, he was not white, blue eyes, blonde hair. You cannot live in a desert and not have a suntan.
According to the Bible, he had feet of bronze and cheeky woolly hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's nappy.
I'd have to. I would have to look at him and think, and this is what the man whose words many of us follow look like. Aren't we lucky?
Now, as the current, we know we're coming into like a midterm election, and I look at some of the on the Democratic side, which I mean, I guess if we go through the current political system, when I look at who the Democrats offer compared to who the Republican offer, the only thing I get from it is we're going to support a corporate agenda. Because when I look back on the Obama administration, you know, it seems to me like a lot of people really didn't get up in arms when Obama was doing his deportation raids and stuff. But it seems like now, like since Trump's the president, that now more attention is brought to it. I feel like more on the Democratic Party side, they're using the whole immigration issue mixed as just a tool, a weapon to get reelected, to where their past actions and their voting history has showed that they're going to side with big money and the wealthy top percent. So, like, where do an individual go when, as in the current political system we in, neither side really works on behalf of its constituents?
The same thing's going to happen this time as happened the last time, I'm afraid. I didn't want to vote for Hillary Clinton. I could not vote for the other people. And it was obvious that the independent person wasn't going to make it. So I literally held my nose and voted for Hillary Clinton. The problem was that a whole lot of people, particularly a whole lot of people, black people, said, I don't like either one of them, I'm not going to vote. Yep. That's the reason we lost that election. Because people decided, a whole lot of people said, I don't like either one of them, I'm not going to vote. They should have voted. If you don't vote, you can't complain about what you got.
Exactly.
You ask for it by not voting. So what we have to do is get people out to vote, and I don't care who they vote for, as long as they vote, we have to have the numbers.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. If you think that doesn't work, what did that happen where? With Alabama, where the pedophile was running, and the black folks came out and got elected the other man? Was that Alabama? Just a couple of months ago?
That might be. I'm not.
And Mr. Trump was supporting the pedophile.
Oh, that you talking about that Roy Moore?
Roy Moore, yeah.
Yeah.
White people came out and took that election into the right direction. Now, they voted for a white man instead of voting for a pedophile. And Mr. Trump told to vote for Roy Moore. Yeah. He wanted him. And so the Senate of the House of Representatives a while ago. My memory isn't that great. When they're my age, yours won't be either.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Alabama, it's throughout. It's a lot of areas throughout rural Alabama that the United Nations said that they were living in third world conditions, which I mean personally I think is absurd. When I know that there are relatively available resources in this country to help all of us on
even Puerto Rico, all the United States territory. And
well, let's talk about Puerto Rico. Mr. Trump said to the governor, I've talked to your president. Mr. Trump is the president of Puerto Rico.
Exactly.
Yes. It's our territory.
And yes. But Mr. Trump also said that Frederick Douglass is doing some wonderful things. He said that a year and a half ago. And I thought, he's talking to Frederick Douglass.
Well,
he was talking to Lincoln while he's at it.
But
see, he's inciting.
In this country right now.
Right. nationalist to act.
Yes.
He is by his inaction.
But I think Trump is more just like, I think all Republican presidents had this agenda. I just think that Trump is just overt with it. That's it's the only difference. And I think that the Democratic presidents that we had this agenda too was just done in a certain
what
way.
did Hillary Clinton say? I'm a Barry Goldwater girl. We all know what Barry Goldwater is about.
I am neither in favor of nor against either major party. Each of them has made some dreadful mistakes. Each of them has done some wonderful things.
Yes.
Absolutely wonderful. So you can't blame it on the party. It's not the party. It's the individuals in the party, individual behaviors of what is the problem.
Yes.
Yes.
Because we all know Hitler came to power with 98% of the German vote in the Weimar Republic. All
Right.
He was democratically elected. We're talking about fascism versus democracy.
Right.
We want democracy for all humanity here. We want everybody. That little boy or girl in the Sudan thirsting for water. Instead of having oil tankers, we need to have water tankers. Instead of dropping landmines and bombs, we need to be dropping food packages and water. Because at the end of the day, if you all Google Nestle, the real commodity in the future will be water. Because without water, you will die in 3 days. In 3 days. In Cape Town, in South Africa right now, suffering from a water shortage. And that's because of pollution. We got to not let these people from the John Birch Society destroy our biosphere. We have to keep this for the future generation.
Don't blame it on the John Birch Society. That's stereotyping. Some of the members of the John Birch Society are brilliant people. It's not all of them.
Yes. You are right.
Don't blame it on all the legislators because of what's happening in Washington. It's a few of them that are going along to get along. And we have to put a stop to this. We have to take them out of there. We have to go to the polls and vote. We have to protest. We have to make our wishes known that let's free people themselves get the grief. In Des Moines, Iowa, last week, somebody in the old lady company did everything to this young man because he was black. And the kid went to his mother. The mother complained. They went to the police. But it hit the Des Moines Register. That store was closed for several days while they replaced the manager and the assistant manager, I believe, and the person who treated this person badly because of that young kid ignorant about skin color. That's just one, but that can happen all over the United States. And you have to realize that it's going to solve itself pretty soon because within, as I've said before, within 30 years, in spite of our closing of Planned Parenthood clinics, and in spite of our trying to do away with abortion and women's right to choose, within 30 years, white people will be in an American minority in the United States of America. And when I make that statement at any place, somebody says to me, usually a white woman says to me, well, if they get power, aren't they going to want to do to us what we've done to them? White people, if you want to be treated properly and fairly in the future, treat people of other color groups fairly and properly in the present. Because what we do in the present is going to dictate what happens to us in the future.
Yes.
I think that people are, instead of realizing that that's happening, they're going to build a wall to keep Americans out because everybody from the northernmost part of Canada to the southernmost part of South America are Americans. We can't keep Americans out because we are part of the Americans. They want to build a wall. Instead of building a wall, make your behavior such that people of color will look upon you, or other color groups will look upon you in a positive way. If you don't, you can't move. You're asking black people particularly to be more Christian, more proper, more moral than you white people have to be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For them to take it and keep on in spite of it. In other words, they're saying, we know that you're better at this than we are, so we're just going to expect you to take it and smile and keep on keeping on.
Right.
And you do, and I don't know how, I don't know why.
Wow.
Well, the only reason I brought up John Birch Society, a gentleman named Mark from Anaheim, my personal mentor, he has showed me so many things that leads back to the John Birch Society. Whereas in Ronald Reagan's administration, they got in there, kind of subverted his administration, and basically they've been in the background. Now, it's just like the Catholic Church. The man or woman that goes down to Sunday Mass, they're not the issue. But the Father Dominic that sits there and pedophiles on the altar boys and stuff, they're the issue. Now, with the John Birch Society, we know the Koch brothers' father was a founding member. We also know the Mercer family was in there, and another family was in there. They have directly impacted the racial element of the American society in a negative way. And to remove them from the racial conversation is to remove that part of the hidden piece of the puzzle that connects all the dots. And I learned that through Mark from Anaheim. He's also on Carl Nelson's show. I forgot the actual radio handle at this particular moment, but he is a great source of information. He is the guy that Dick Gregory called the human warning system. Yes, I mean, and he's out there in California right now. He actually called during this broadcast, and the point is that we here at the Other Morning Show, we want to bring to the forefront that humanity as a whole is in danger by a certain element. The oligarchs, the royals, whatever you want to call them or identify them as, is a threat to us. We want to, the only thing the average rural, urban, country human being wants to do is raise their beautiful children, have great, loyal friends, and live a meaningful life, a peaceful life.
But there's people.
And that's your question.
And, the next question is, how has racism negatively impacted the educational system that many of us have to endure?
We don't get the truth. We haven't been taught the truth. We taught that Columbus discovered America. I think they finally stopped teaching America. Why? He didn't discover America. Americans were here long before Columbus was completely as far as I, and Native Americans became black.
Right.
Black people moved here, and because of the different things, they were simply different. That's what we started is because, that's part of red men, because they painted their skins with red paint, and red people thought that meant they were red skin. This whole thing is just ridiculous. We don't tell the truth. If we don't start telling the truth, we are going to be on the tubes. If people start ugly, if we tell the truth, it would be a definition of the things that all people of different ages have contributed to this civilization and to this society. I just love it when I pull up to a stoplight, a light's red, and I have to stop. And the guy beside me, usually has a beard on a motorcycle, and he's like, wow, he wants to go. I look at him and I grin, and I know he's thinking that I think he's a cute little thing. No, I'm thinking, your life right now, your behavior, is being controlled by the invention of a black man.
Yeah.
That's just true. I laugh every time I pull up to the stoplight, and there's a big trucker sitting there wanting to go, and I think, I got man is controlling you right now. I don't like that. But I put on my shoes in the morning. I think I've got a right shoe and a left shoe, and it's very easy to buy. They're very cheap because a black man invented the latch so that we could put those shoes together mechanically, so that we could put good shoes that fit each of our feet. Those things are important to me. When I turn on the electricity, when I turn on a light in this house, I think, thank you, black males, because black males invented many of the components for transmitting and generating electricity.
Yes. It just wasn't common sense.
My granddaughter needed a blood transfusion a couple months ago. I said, thank you to the man who helped to develop the process for storing blood plasma. That was a black man.
Yes.
When I write a letter, I say, thank you to those people in the Nile Valley who invented writing and math.
Right. And we also need to say thank you to the people who invented civilization, which were black Nubians and Kemet, not Africa, which Africa was a Roman general, Africa conscriptor, that actually took over North from Africa, that was the breadbasket of the Roman Empire. But you know what? The biggest thing about it is that when we take these stupid pseudonyms away from what we're talking about men and we're talking about women.
Yeah.
In order for us to get off this mud ball we call Earth, we have to work together so that we can reach the stars. Could you imagine someone who represents what Trump represents reaching another colony? Take us to your leader so we can enslave you all. You know, we don't need that. We have to free ourselves. And the freedom that I'm talking about comes from freedom of love. We have to love one another. Point blank.
No. Be very careful about that. We Christians have used the word love to keep people in their place in this country for about 200 years.
Mm-hmm.
We do things to people and say we're doing this because we love you.
Yes.
And what we do is steal their property. And well, we have used, for instance, in the Bible it says, and now about these three things: faith, hope, and what?
Love.
And love. Faith, hope, and charity means selfless giving. But once again, we changed it to make it easier for us to deal with it.
Right.
We changed it to love. As Eisenhower said, you can't legislate love. He was absolutely right. You can legislate justice. And if you have read any of the books that Bell Hooks has written, and if you haven't, you better read them and read them, she says, we will never have a loving society until we have a just one.
Yes.
And if somebody says, I love you, I think, give me justice, and then we may end up loving one another. But if you won't treat me justly, I might not treat you justly. We might never end up having a loving society. We need a just society first. My dad used to give us a whippet before it was and my mother would say, he's doing this because he loves you. And I used to say, could you love me a little less? We would use love as an excuse for doing some absolutely abominable things in this country.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's
Yeah.
provide justice. And then we may end up loving one another.
I mean, I've actually heard black preachers suggest that black people were better off going through, say, slavery because we finally reached the understanding of the love of Jesus Christ and Christianity, which is abominable because within the same statement, it dictates self-hate and a worship of a blue-eyed, blonde-haired Jesus.
That's right. And I'll never forget the day I was being taken back to the airport by two young black males. And the wheel of the sitting says, that's what it says. And this young black girl in the back said, I know I have to suffer because it says so in the Bible. I said, what in the Bible did you say that you have to suffer? He said, it says I have to because I'm a kid. I said, tell me what it says. He said, it says, suffer the little children to come unto me. I said, that doesn't mean little children have to suffer because of Jesus. That means permit the little children to come unto me. Allow the little children to come unto me. It doesn't mean you have to suffer. He started saying, they told me I have to suffer. I said, we have used that kind of statement and misread it for long enough. I said, who told you that? He said, well, who's your name address and give his name? And you give him my name because he needs to learn that he is miseducating his students in his Sunday school. That does not mean you have to suffer. That means permit the little children to come unto me. He said, Mrs. Elliott, thank you. Jane Elliott. I said, well, walk up to heaven. I'd like to change that preacher's life.
Yes.
Yes. We gotta
Well,
start
what about the
getting-
preachers that talk
Right.
about, since we're, on Noah, we're the descendants of Shem, so we're underneath a special curse. Is that just basically put in there to cement the mortar of white supremacy, or what?
Well, as the Pope says, and we need to stop really tearing down the Catholic Church because some of the things that the Catholics have done have been wonderful. But the Pope said, last year, 2 years ago, those are nice stories in the Bible, but they aren't true.
They're not
They are
true.
wonderful. They are wonderful moral stories that can teach you how to live a moral life, a life where you respect and accept other human beings. That's what those stories are supposed to be about. But over time, we have misinterpreted them in order to make it all right for us to do ungodly things to other human beings.
and feel just about it.
And feel
Right?
just about it.
And feel just about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just see, I was raised by a Catholic mother and a Baptist father. You can't get much more problems than that. I heard both sides, but they never talked about religion together. They never argued about religion. But Mom would sneak this stuff in, and Dad would say, you don't have to go to church to pray. I pray out there in that field every day. Because he had a realistic picture of what God is about and what religion is about. My mother
Exactly.
didn't. It was very different.
She was more dogmatic.
Now somebody's going to say she doesn't like Catholics. Some of my best friends are Catholics. Have you heard that one before? And I had 2 Catholic brothers, 3 Catholic brothers. So don't tell me I don't like Catholics. I respect the religion, but when you twist a religion to put other people down, there's something wrong with your religion. And
Right.
Exactly.
are the ones who are twisting that religion.
And unfortunately, a lot of those religions seem to be picking and choosing what parts of the Bible to make true, and
Absolutely.
just to basically support
Well, what's
their
that,
agenda.
Timothy?
Timothy
2?
Depending on what your point of view
That's
or what you
about
want,
the
others'
woman.
point of view to be.
What did you say again?
What was the last part?
You can use your religion. You can twist your or somebody else's religion any way you want to, depending on what you need at that moment.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah. They do that all the time.
Opportunism.
Yeah, they do that all the time.
But
It's,
everybody does.
yeah.
Everybody does that. It's kind of a human feeling, but as long as you recognize that that could happen, then you have to say to yourself, no, wait a minute, what did you really mean when you said that? And pin them down, and then they didn't really mean what they said. And they'll say, well, you took it wrong. But you'll say, oh, they'll say, you're playing the race card. Have you been accused of playing the race card recently?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, wouldn't it be safe to say that most people are only as racist or misogynistic or even bigoted as their opportunity?
An environment.
Oh, no. Without a whole lot of opportunity, you can sit down and have a whole bunch of stuff that is absolutely senseless. And somebody will buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. That is true. There's a fool sucker born every minute.
Right. So,
We depend on it. You're in a circus in this country. And right now, the clowns have taken over the main floor, where I work.
at
It's a
the
3-ring circus, and the clowns are running the circus.
Yes.
Jane, at the end of the day, when you look back on everything you have done, all the people you have educated, what do you think about more like when you look back on everything you've done and accomplished? How do you feel? Do you feel like you achieved anything? Do you feel like you cemented your mark?
Let me tell you something. About 2 months ago, in November, people from South Africa came to HR to interview me with the photographer because there's not many come to South Africa to see them on the 50th anniversary of the birth of men of whoever. And they said, if we go over to the school where this happened, we got the pictures of the school, I said, sure, so we went over. We walked in, the secretary was, the secretary was walking away. And I said, pardon me, could we possibly go and look at room 10? These people are going to do their documentary, and they just walked through the room. She said, certainly, go ahead. I said, I'm Jane Elliott. She said, I know who you are. And at that point, a little girl who was sitting on the bench by the woman's name, Gracie Lois, and said, are you the actual Jane Elliott? I said, yeah, but how do you know about Jane Elliott? She said, because I go to school in the room that you're telling, and I know what things to do in that room, and I see the same, I think you're wonderful. I said, well, would you walk with us up to the hall so that we could see that? And she said, yeah, I'm sure we will. So about 10 minutes, we started to walk away. A little man came racing over and said, I was in that room too, sir. I know all about you, but the room was the class was too big. We had to go to a different room. I wish I was still back in that room. So we walked up there, and by the time we got up there, a tall young man was standing outside the door. And as we walked up, he was watching what was going on. And I said, did you happen to be the principal here? He said, yes, I am. I said, these kids have seen the film The Eye of the Storm. He said, yes. I said, I am impressed that you have the courage to show these kids that film. He said, Mrs. Elliott, we know that you have to be taught. We know that children have to be taught to be racist. We're teaching our students not to be racist.
Yes.
Now think of that. 15 years ago, we did an exercise in room 10 in the Redcliffe Community Elementary School with 8-year-olds and 2 visitors. 8-year-olds are watching the film that was made in that classroom 50 years ago. Am I pleased with that?
I don't know.
I would hope so.
I would hope so too.
You tell me.
Yeah. Just imagine that. But, when my dad said, after the first time it was made in the classroom, I wish somebody would taught me that when I was 9 years old.
Yes.
I thought that was the best it could get. He was 60 years old at the time. And then, in 2017, years before 8 years, I say, I was going to school in the room that you taught in, and I've seen your film, which was made 50 years ago. I got nothing. I had nothing. I could die for long. I wouldn't care because I took it that I had lived a life that made a difference. And I think I have.
Yes, you have, Jane.
Yes.
You definitely made it, had a life that made a huge difference.
Wait. It only makes a difference if people use the film and if people read the book. And I've written a book called A Call in My Pocket, which describes how white people behave when they are treated for a couple of hours the way people of other colors are treated for a lifetime in this country. I appreciate it if everybody would read the book A Call in My Pocket.
Well,
It isn't that with those, but to teach white people something about how white people react.
Now, is that book available in any of the local libraries? Because I've checked all the ones around me.
Well, go on Amazon. It's available through Amazon.
All right. Because I've been looking for that book and your other book, A Little Prisoner.
A what?
The
Little Prisoner?
The Little Prisoner?
That's the only one I wrote with a collar in my pocket, and I probably would regret it by the time I died. I'm going to live for another 20 years. It's just a lot of time to regret, doesn't it?
Well, I want to ask you, Jane, has there been a ramp up of the racism in the school after World War II during Operation Paperclip, when we brought over a lot of Nazi psychiatrists and not a lot of Nazi academics? Do you think that could have added to the kind of overt racism in our schools?
Well, I think it preceded the Nazis coming to this country after the Second World War. I think racism was alive and long before that. I think from President Roosevelt, when people went to President Roosevelt and said, what are you going to do about Hitler? He said, that man is doing the problem the rest of us don't want to deal with, even alone. When we were willing, when Mr. Truman was willing to drop atomic bombs on 2 Japanese cities, after the Second World War was virtually over, all we had to do was blockade that island, and the war in Japan would have been over. The war in Europe was already over. But the people, the scientists, had a bomb they wanted to try out.
Yes.
And they tried that out on people who wouldn't look back up. That's blatant racism. The Nazis hadn't gotten to this country yet. That's blatant racism. When we refused to allow a shoot of 400 Jewish children to die in this country because members of the military said, don't let those people come here. We don't want those people in this country. That's blatant racism. We kept Jewish children out, but let Nazi members of the Nazi party in. The racism is here before the fact.
Well, similar.
Hitler wasn't around when we killed blacks, when we killed Asian Americans, and Hitler wasn't around when we enslaved blacks. You can't say, the Nazis didn't do this. And the white people did this, and they're still doing it.
But I guess the only fear is that if you really look at it from a purely historical point of view, the black American or North American is basically in the same situation as the Nazi Jew as far as not being able to spin the globe and point to a homeland he or she comes from. So when we get a fascist or Nazi tendency leader, we could have a situation where World War II will be repeated, but we'll have automation along with the genocide.
Well, in this, what we're going through right now, we're lucky, but it's tough because he's too ignorant to know how to stop. So somebody else will step in and stop it. But he was a brilliant man, as he said he was. He would know how to do what he's trying to do. I don't think he even knows what he's trying to do. Number one, he didn't expect to get elected. That was not in his plan. He just wanted attention, and he had lost the television show, So he was going to get attention in some other way and set him up for another television show. That's all this was about. When he got the nomination, he was surprised, and when he got elected, he was astounded. He didn't know what to do with it, and he still does. Because it isn't really, really bright. We're lucky that he isn't really bright. If he were really bright, he'd have to really be frightened, but he isn't. So he can be replaced. I'm not sure that the best president is going to be a good replacement, but it couldn't be worse.
Pence? Pence is about as bad as Ted Cruz as far as certain aspects of the political landscape.
And that brings it back to the so-called opposition party. When I look at all the people they've been promoting, and I know it's probably going to be anywhere between 2 to 12 to 14 people running on the Democratic side. When I look at so far, like people like Cory Booker or Kamala Harris, or even with Bernie Sanders, when I look at this stuff, it's like they're not going to beat Trump because what I witnessed in the 26 when I think
Trump isn't going to run.
I think
Trump isn't going to be the president for 3 more years.
even if
Look at what you're saying.
Wait. Why do you say Trump's not going to run?
You say what?
If they do the right thing, he will not be out on the street, and he won't be in the White House.
But when you look at it, regardless if any other Republican would run, when you look at who the Democrat offer, and it's a lot of people that still remember what happened in 2016, it's going to be hard to convince these people that this is not going to happen again, because that's what I see. Like, I really don't see a difference between, because I look at the stuff Obama did, and then I look at the stuff Trump's doing. Trump is just doing the same agenda, just continuing the Obama agenda of what Obama was in there doing, and Trump just took it to another level. He's just overt with it.
It's my opinion. I have lots of opinions too, but
Right.
my opinion that we should thank God that it's Mr. Trump, because he has shown everybody with any sense at all what a despot looks like, what a demagogue looks like, what a dictator looks like. And they are going to refuse to allow him to continue this for the next 3 years, and he will certainly not get the opportunity to do it again for another 4. He has taught all of us, even my brothers who voted for him. Even they are saying, I had no idea how ruthless this FOB is. They had no idea how dumb he was. They had no idea how willing he is to go back to fossil fuels, take all the regulations off for fossil fuels are concerned, and then talk about how he has clean coal, which is what he said this week, how he has clean coal. Does he not realize what he is saying and what he has done and what he is doing? I don't think he does. He needs to realize that the only reason Trump is trying to get rid of everything that Barack Obama ever accomplished is because Barack Obama took fun at him at a press dinner one night. You don't put fun at Donkey Boy, because that makes him think, and so he's going to get even with Barack Obama. He was across this country, our democracy, he is going to get even. He is all about vengeance.
But,
you realize that.
but don't that tell you how bad that the Democratic Party is when somebody like Trump that can actually win? That kind of reflects where the Democratic Party is when you think if somebody capable of Trump that was capable of winning against the Democratic side, which I think anybody other than Hillary Clinton would have probably beat Hillary.
Like Bernie?
Just anybody. But with the way how that whole side went down, and that what brings me back to the whole point. As I look at all the candidates that the Democratic Party has to offer, I don't see how they can beat Trump. Because they don't offer anything.
Look, you have forgotten that Trump didn't win that election. The only reason he won that election, he got 3 million less votes than Hillary Clinton did. The only reason he got the presidency is because the members of the Electoral College in 12 states didn't do what the Electoral College was designed to do, which was to see to it that no one who was unfit for the presidency would ever become president. They acted take the electoral college vote. So he didn't win this election. And now, knowing what we know, we'll see to it that he doesn't do that the next time. But that doesn't happen the next time. We'll watch that electoral college very, very carefully. And we'll see to it that they do the right thing. We can do that, you know.
Yes.
And people have
And that's
to.
one thing that people need to know. In the presidential election, it is the electoral college that decides the president, not you or I.
That's right, but they decide on the basis of who got the most votes in each of those states. So, right, Thomas Jefferson put the electoral college into the Constitution to speak to it that no one who was unfit for the top would ever become president. And everyone worked for the most part up until this last November.
But the majority of those 3 million votes came from the state of California. So if you take that state away for just total number of votes, it shows that Trump would have pretty much won that election with the popular vote. It's the only reason why Hillary had that 3 million.
If you think that those laws fraudulently passed, that's wrong. Hillary Clinton got 3 million more of the popular vote than Donald Trump did.
Yeah, but those came from California.
He would have been president. I'm not sure that would be, no, I am sure. That would be a huge improvement for what that we live in this town. Because he does know government.
But don't you, like, from what I get between, even if I still feel the same course as the course that Donald Trump is taking the country, I feel like the same course for everything that's going on, how corporations run everything, the top 10th of 1% on all the wealth. I still feel, regardless if Donald Trump was in there or not, if Hillary Clinton was in there, the same trajectory that the country is being taken in would have been done, except nobody would have been saying anything, just the same way when Obama was the president.
Because she's a woman?
No, it ain't got nothing to it's not about, I'm not looking at it, so I'm looking at policy.
If you believe that, why do you bother to vote? If you believe that, why don't you just vote it to qualify over the night and somebody else take it over?
I vote all the time. Like, I'm an avid voter. I vote all the time. But what I'm saying is I don't see a difference between the Republicans and the Democrats. Okay, the Republicans might be more overt with how they feel about homosexuals or something like that, to where the Democratic Party or rather, okay, we'll give them a hug. We don't have an issue with them. But when it comes to economics, they don't put in no policies to support any of this stuff. Because when you look at the main issue in this country right now, it's economics. It's a huge disparity between the wealth in this country, and it's destroying us as a whole, as a species in general. When automation is coming, and the way the current system that we live upon, the political system, automation is going to just wipe us out, because there's no governance, or our so-called government that we live up under is not implementing policies to where automation will help us and not hurt us.
Well, if you want to take the point of view that there's no way to change it, then it will never change. If you're convinced that we are human beings, we are thinking creatures, and we can make changes in our lives, and we can make changes in our government, we can make changes in our education, then things will change. But just to sit up and think they're all alike, and they aren't all alike. Democrats and Republicans are not exactly alike. There's a big difference between, that's confident. I could preach this all day. You want to talk about racism?
Yes. Yes, we want to talk about racism and how it has negatively impacted the society.
It has negatively impacted every person in this society, not just black people.
Yes, it
If
has.
you have white people convinced that they're perfect, and then all of a sudden turn around and they aren't, it's going to destroy them. We have to change this whole situation so we tell the truth.
Yes. See, my wife, when we first started dating, when we were boyfriend, girlfriend, she got a taste of my life, my world. When I took her to the local Walmart, she had a check from her granny that was already signed, and all you had to do is put in the amount. A week prior to our little visit to Walmart.
The
It was no problem. She had it cash and got her little stuff and went on. But when I was there present with her and this little cashier detected us, she was like, "Oh no, we gotta call Granny. We gotta make sure everything's right and on the up and up." These little things really matter.
That's called profiling. And they did that at the old lady store in Des Moines, and now they've had to change their policies considerably. If you put up with that, you can expect it to happen again.
Yes.
The only thing necessary for the perpetuation of people is for good people to do nothing. The only thing necessary for the perpetuation of people is for good people to do nothing. The next number one, why in the world are you trading at your Walmart? Is that the only business that you can go to the things you need? Because Walmart is the most un-American country on the face of business, on the company on the face of the earth.
Yes.
Why in the world would you trade at Walmart?
Sadly, that's the only place we have around here.
They
'cause
ran
brought
out
everybody
everything.
else out.
And,
Yes.
and
We
that's
live in a very small, dare I say, hick town.
and that's all throughout America. How Walmart comes in and they take
It's
all
a rat-
the
and
small
don't pay
local
taxes.
businesses. They usurp all the wealth.
When they come in, I know the trick they do. They put up a whole bunch of small Walmarts in small towns. But once they get the mom and pop stores saved in those towns, because Walmart will offer the same stuff at a cheaper price, then they make a giant Walmart in the middle of that circle and close all those small marts.
Exactly.
And those little towns with small business districts. This is a cheap trick and it has worked for a lot of years. You need to realize that even a store like this, store like Lender says, trade with black people. Why don't you trade with people who don't like you? Form an organization. Find a way to get somebody to support the bringing in a different group of people to run that store or to run a different store.
Right.
Target's a good store. Target's a good store. They treat the people fairly. They treat their employees fairly. Walmart they are absolutely that is legal thievery.
Yes. Exactly. And then they don't even have humans working there half the time. They have maybe one or two real people in a line at the registers, and the rest is all your little automated do-it-yourself machines.
We're losing a lot of money doing that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I've seen people go up and check out at Target and then walk away without paying.
exactly. And
It's called a discount, Jane. That's a discount.
But see,
Discount.
up there at Walmart, up here in our town, they watch you everything you scan.
Oh, yes.
Then they check you at the front door. They have somebody always standing at the front door, and they usually have one or two people watching the self checks. But then,
Right, and if it's obvious that you're being racially profiled, you have to take a camera with you, you have to take your cell phone with you, and then you have to take a picture of that happening, and then you have to take that to a local police station. And so this is what happens at Walmart.
yep, they do that to
And you
me.
can put a stop to this if everybody has a cell phone these days.
Yes.
Most people know how to run it. I don't. I have one, but I don't know how to run it. But you know, I can kill a chicken and cut it up and put it in the pan, but I can't run it with cell phone. If everybody who knows that's happening to them, they get their cell phone and let them know that you're racially profiling me and you're with your hand. And I'll have evidence in my hand. Let's start treating people differently. And when you go to hand the clerk the money and she says, put it on the counter, that's racial profiling.
Thing is, in Walmart, though, you can't just videotape because it's against their policies, and they can make you turn it off.
I think you can do it in such a way that they don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah?
If you're going to be set upon by sneaky people, unquestionably, you have to be sneakier than they are.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but a whole lot of black people learned that during slavery days. When
Yeah.
they had signs on the houses
Yes.
that indicated where you needed to go to find the Underground Railroad, and white people couldn't understand them. And when the songs that they were singing were telling people who wanted to find the Underground Railroad how to find it, and white folks just thought they were spirituals.
Mm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, black people know how to get around this stuff. They're smart. They know how to defy the ignorant.
Yes. We're the ones who created rock and roll. We're the ones who created rap. And then what happens is some sort of corporation comes in there, puts up another group that don't even look like it, steals our intellectual properties, and then they go on with the gold. It's the same old gag.
Once again, black's music is being co-opted by white folks. You know, that is their writing.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Jazz
You know,
is co-opted by white folks.
Eminem, the winner at the BET Awards. Really? I mean, there's so many other great artists out there, but, you know, who am I?
BET's owned by a white corporation.
Now.
Yeah.
Now it is.
So, I mean,
What we're dealing here with, Jane, is we're really dealing with a situation where, as the baby boomers are dying, all right, and they're interjecting some of this racist nonsense into these millennials and whatnot, we're dealing with a whole new, like Dylan Roof. We had other killings by, people who never owned a slave. Because, to my knowledge, no one in modern times owned slaves. But they still carry on the rebel flag. They still carry on, it's not hate, it's tradition. And all this nonsense. I actually had white people personally tell me, listen, you're not a nigger, you're a black man. What the hell is that? When the bullet starts flying, they're going to see, no racist going to stop. Hey, are you okay or are you good? They're going to put a bullet on me just like the next guy.
Well, that's saying get all black people acted the way you do. We wouldn't have the problems we have with these people. The only response to that is, if all white people acted the way I do, we wouldn't have the problems we have with people.
Yes.
Exactly.
That is true. That is so
Yeah.
true.
You need to develop the ability to say, so turn it around and say, you know what you just said. You know how ignorant that was.
Yeah.
So if you don't, here's a book that you need to read. Or here's just a statement that you need to read. If you walk around with a shirt on like I do, constantly, that says prejudice is the emotional commitment to ignorance, people don't talk to me a lot, but they read my sweatshirt a lot. Yeah, when I walk through an airport wearing this sweatshirt, and people walk to me and read my shirt as they come to me, and I wish I had one of those cameras on my hat.
One of those GoPros.
And they're furious just looking at it. And others say, come by, they say, like your shirt, and give me a thumbs up, and I just turn all the way through the airport because I think, you stop me, fool. You are angry about this. Go ahead, say something. Please say something.
Yes.
I want to ask you one question. How many races are there on planet Earth?
How many people are there on planet Earth?
No, how many races are there? How many races are there?
People are there.
Exactly.
How many people?
Because we have on this earth, we white folks have exported our racism to every country on the face of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
It only took us 500 years to do it, but we've done it. We have now exported racism all over the earth. And because we know that you can fight racism all over the world, we also know that you can do away with racism all over the world.
Yes.
Yes.
We could change this situation if we chose to.
Yes.
If you were born, raised, and schooled in the United States of America, and you are a racist, you need to go back and take the course over. Because you should have flunked social studies.
So what can we do to basically get white folks to stop being non-racist?
keep implementing her exercise.
Get black folks to stop allowing it.
Yeah.
Mm.
But then when they do, they're being disrespectful.
Here's a huge part of the problem. Black folks will say, she doesn't like me because I call her my skin. That means you, the black person, are responsible for how that white person feels about you because you didn't have enough sense to be born white, okay?
Mm.
Give that up. Say to that person doesn't like me, not because of the color of my skin, but because of that person's ignorance about skin color.
Yes.
Stop believing that it's because of the color of your skin. You can't change the color of your skin and you shouldn't have to. But white people can change their level of ignorance.
Yes.
Right.
And they must be forced to, if they're going to survive in the future.
Yes.
It's called self-preservation, people, for all of us.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I just think racism is just the tool they use as just part of an arsenal to attack on the human
Species
just in general,
like religion and
Yeah.
governments. Yeah, because folks, unfortunately, whatever country you find yourself in, that is your cell block. That is your prison. We live on a prison planet, unfortunately. We really do. And
Right.
we're separated by these.
It isn't just black who are imprisoned by racism.
Right.
Whites are imprisoned by racism.
Yes.
Yes.
I refuse to allow it, but when I have people of other color groups in my house, people in this neighborhood are talking about it. Because obviously there's something wrong with me, and I'm like those people can't.
Yes.
I have been called the N-word never so often, and I just laugh and say, well, better than nothing than my neighbor.
Exactly.
Well, they got a new one out there. They call it mud shark.
Yeah.
You know, you're a mud shark and all this crap. But you know, the bottom line is,
Now that's a new, I haven't heard that one before.
I
oh
know,
yeah,
I
these
came
young
across
people
it
keep
on-
us hip. They keep us hip. These young people. I mean, and I love them. And because of the fact that these young people, they're tired of this indoctrination and brainwashing. They really seek the truth. They want to know the truth for their own psyche, and I'm all about that. And I'm so thankful that there's folks like you who are willing to come on and share unrepentant, unedited truth. You're sharing truth with us tonight, Jane, and we are eternally grateful for that.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
A lot.
Well, you won't be grateful when you lose your listeners.
Oh,
No.
stop.
Oh, no.
This show here is different, Jane. This ain't Fox News. They
Yes,
crave
sir.
what you got. And,
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to put it out here right now. I want you to come on back on the show later on this year. You know, if you want to, if you have the time, because I know you're a very busy woman. But we want to hear from you again. This ain't just the only time you're going to hear Jane Elliott on the other morning show.
This is an open
Well,
invitation.
let's wait until after the election's over, shall we?
Yes, yes.
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 Sounds like a
because
plan.
I have been talking to so many people about you, Jane, and everything, the first thing that people who actually know about you that I come in contact with say about you, that's an intelligent woman. She's an intelligent woman.
Well, that's nice.
Yes,
That is-
because you are, Jane. You're extremely
I
intelligent.
wouldn't say that's an intelligent person.
Well, I'm pretty sure people.
Well, intelligent,
everything.
real recognize real, Jane. And
Yes.
intelligent people recognize other intelligence, which we all recognize in you. Because you bring something to the
Thank you
table.
very much.
Well, thank you.
Can you tell
Thank you
your
for calling.
okay? Can you tell our audience where they can find you at if they want to get more information about you?
Yes.
Heavens no, I won't. Go on my website. JaneElliott.com.
Give us the website.
JaneElliott.com.
Okay,
JaneElliott.com.
I've been set with that too many times to tell everybody where to find me.
I know where to find you because you're in my phone.
Yes.
And, I mean, as long as it's okay, I definitely want to continue talking to you, obviously, off the camera and stuff, because my wife, I was about to say my woman, I'm not a caveman, but my wife, she is a huge fan of you. And I really want to take all the knowledge and all the wisdom you are willing to share with us and put it on my...
I want to get all my knowledge and wisdom, but I'd be glad to give you what I have.
Thank you.
Thank you
I
very
Thank
would
you,
gladly
Jane.
take anything you have to share.
Thank you, Jane Elliott. Ladies and gentlemen, Jane Elliott.
Yes.
The other morning
Thank you.
show. Thank you, Jane.
Okay, goodbye now.
Goodbye. What a terrific
And
show.
there you go, folks. Jane Elliott, unfiltered, uncut. We didn't always agree on all the issues.
But we gave you what
Hope-
we gave you.
Hopefully you're educated. I want to also thank Debbie from behind the scenes.
Yes.
She's a big fan of Jane Elliott.
Yes.
So thank you, Debbie, for coming on with us, and we appreciate that.
And I just want to say, I'm sorry, Mark from Anaheim. You was calling in the middle of Jane Elliott's interview. I cannot take the phone call. Say.
also want to
But it is what
I also want to say thanks to Humphreys. You know who you is.
Yeah,
And
and I want to say a couple of things real quick, and then you can say, hey, and then you can give the thanks to the tablet there. Professor Griff, Professor Griff, if you're watching tonight, I will be calling you soon. Hopefully you'll come on the show. You'll see what we're about. Brother, I know you have a lot to teach us and a lot to share. Come on. And you know, Mark from Anaheim, you're always welcome to come on. And also the Unarius Academy of Science, Lonnie or David, please come back to the show. That's all I got to say. Oh, P.O. Box 133, DeSoto, Missouri. Please send us your comments or 63200.
63020.
Oh, yeah. And to send us your comments, send us anything. You know, we have books. We had... You going to show what everyone sent us?
Tell them who sent it.
Okay. Thank you, Daniels from White Plains, Arkansas. Hopefully I got that right. I might mess up on. Thank you, Daniel, for your contribution to the show. We appreciate your support. We appreciate the support of everyone who has contributed from Allentown to...
Gary started all this.
Yes, you did, sir.
Gary
yes, you did.
started all of this.
And we are so thankful. And give the Patreon
the Patreon's out. It's patreon.com/dimebagtv. And I want to thank all the new subscribers. Hope you enjoy the content.
Yes.
We're working on a lot of people to get on the show.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to get valuable information. This is what it's about.
Just as you're listening, Derek Morgan from the Black Gun Owners Association. Truly enjoyed our conversation this morning. We're looking forward to having a representative from your organization on the show to show that guns are not dangerous as long as they're used safely. Because we believe in a well-informed citizenry and a well-armed citizenry. Now, my brother here has pitchfork. My baby here has a 9mm. So, this is what we're at. We love America. We love what we stand for. But we know that we can get better. And we can only get better as long as we communicate. Remember this, folks. No matter what, we are stronger together. We are stronger together.
When millions of people stand up and fight back, only then there will be justice for all. And some pitchforks aren't created equally. I'm Dimebag Darley.
I'm True Power's Mind.
And I'm Debbie from Behind the Scenes.
Peace.
Peace. Thank you for
out.
watching. What